franchise recently celebrated an incredible milestone when they aired their 1,000th episode earlier this month. And for 17 seasons, our first guest has played fan favorite Leon Vance. Take a look.
Was that the Moondog?
Mr. Brian Mooney, your old React buddy.
Oh, well, I don't know if I call him a buddy the way he kicked our butts at Camp Pendleton.
Well, he'll be kicking butts at the Far East office now.
My dad's old post.
After you turned it down, he happily threw his hat in the ring.
As well he should. He's more than qualified. But who's taking his job?
That's what I'm about to find out.
Me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, please welcome Rocky Carroll. Rocky, an actor's dream is to be doing what you do. You have one of the greatest gigs, 17 seasons on one show.
Thank you.
And you have under your belt 33 years of steady work as an actor. 33 years. Like, Rocky, do you wake up and just pinch yourself?
Yes, I do. I'm pinching myself right now because I'm sitting here on this show with you.
Oh, Rocky.
You know, I came to Hollywood 33 years ago. A little sitcom called Rock brought me to Hollywood.
Rock. Y'all remember Rock?
Thank you. But I came from New York. I came from the New York theater. I was an actor before I became known in Hollywood. So when I got to LA, I said, hey, if it doesn't work, I go back to the theater. I have a trade. I was like a craftsman. I'm gonna bring my toolbox. If they don't like what it is I'm selling here, I'll go back to what I know in the theater. But for the last 33 years, it's been really good.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And I have to say, because it was you and Ella Joyce on Rock, but I was a struggling comic and an aspiring actress, and I came to see you do Rock. I came to the studio, and Cheryl Underwood was there with me.
Wow.
And she introduced you to me, and you were so kind. Wow. I just want to tell you that you were so nice.
Thank you.
Because I thought all the stars were going to be like, you know, but you stopped and you asked me what I wanted to do. Yeah, I know you don't even remember me, but I remember you.
I tell people all the time, you remember those little random acts of kindness, especially on your way up. And I tell people all the time, you never know, because in our business, you know, paupers become queens and kings. So be careful how you treat somebody, or that production assistant, or that person that knocks on your door and says, can I bring you coffee? There's 5 minutes, because 10 years from now, that person might be running the studio.
Absolutely.
So that was always my mindset.
Thank you for being so kind to me when I didn't have anything. It was a ride the bus.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Now, season 21 of NCIS, like, you're not just starring in the show, you are also directing the show. Okay, what's that like, being a director?
So, people always ask me, what is it like being a director, directing one of the most watched shows in the world?
Yes.
And I said, this has to be the equivalent of being the royal wedding planner.
Really?
For me, because you're responsible. When I'm acting, I get up in the morning, I pour myself a cup of coffee, I'm reading the newspaper, I look over my lines. When I'm directing, I'm laying in bed at 3 o'clock in the morning going, please, God, help me get through this. Don't let me mess this up, because you're responsible for everything. Wardrobe, hair, makeup, costumes, special effects, lighting, et cetera, et cetera.
The food, the craft service, everything.
Everything. And if you don't have an answer, you're supposed to pretend to have an answer for something. So. But it's been a great experience. I mean, it's allowed me to learn a second language, like I tell people all the time.
Yes.
And I must have done something right, because I said, Mom and Dad gave me the keys to a very expensive car, and as long as I don't wreck it, they let me drive it again. So I've had 25 episodes now as director.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so, Rocky, you act, you direct, and you golf. You said this Samuel Jackson taught you to golf? He taught you how to play golf?
First time I ever went on a driving range was with Sam Jackson.
Really?
That picture of me laying in the grass was because I was in Scotland, the home of golf, right?
Yes.
And I was playing so bad, I finally hit a shot that I could find the ball. So I decided, I said, no, let me lay down next to the ball, because we've been spending the day looking for my shots. So that one we didn't have to look for. So that's...
Okay, Okay, so I want to learn to golf because I heard that it's a really good place to meet single men. Is that true?
And you can come with me. I'll be your wingman. Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really, Rocky? So is the golf course, is that a place to meet single men?
You know what? It's a good place. I say it's better than any dating site you can go on.
Really?
Because in one round of golf, you'll learn more about somebody's personality and what they're like because you get to see them at their best and you get to see them at their worst.
Really?
You get to see them when they hit a bad shot, if they get mad, if they got a temper.
Okay.
If the ball's in the sand and they take and cheat and move it out, it's like, okay, do they... All the things you want to know about a man.
Really?
Do they play fair? Do they have a temper? What's the overall attitude? I tell people all the time, companies groom executives on the golf course because
Really?
they get to see them when things go good, and they get to see how they behave when things don't go so well. So to me, it's better than any dating site.
Okay.
Now you may not walk away with a date, but I mean that's.
Well, that's what I'm trying to, I'm trying to swipe like into the hole. I'm trying to swipe right, swipe left.
We're going to work on the lingo for you as well.
Okay. Yeah, I know it's called tee up or something like that. Mine is I'm swiping.
So I do that, and I like to go deep sea fishing, but you don't want to be with the guys with deep sea fishing.
No, I don't want deep sea.
No, that whole thing you were talking about with the axe and the smell and yeah, it's a whole different story.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna stick with golf with you.
Let's stick with the golfers.
Well, it's so funny because I know now, like my son, he's on all these apps all the time, which I don't get. You got a daughter in her 20s. Is she on the apps?
There are apps I don't even know about.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, my daughter now, she'll be 23 in May.
Okay.
And I say all the time now, it's like when I was dating, as a kid, teenager, early 20s, you brought somebody home.
Yes.
Now they could be knowing each other for months and never have been in the same room before.
Right.
And you're like, how long you known this person? 8 months. It's like, but they've never been in the same room because they're on these
Yes.
they're on these dating apps or whatever. But I have faith that she's, I always say I was the first man in her life, so I tried to set the bar.
Yes,
So
you did.
I always tell her, if you're concerned, if you wonder, it's like, if your father wouldn't treat you that way,
Ooh.
you shouldn't be treated that way.
That's a good one. That's a good one. So, like, does she... Because I remember when I was 5 years old and a little boy, Ernest, came to my dad's house and he knocked on the door and he was in kindergarten. And he said, I want to date your daughter. And that was, and my daddy slammed the door in his face. Like, even when she's on the apps, do the men come to the house and do the old school?
They do occasionally. If they make the cut with her, they usually come by. So I try to get one of those NCIS posters of me with a
with your hand in your blazer.
And I keep like one of the badges, one of the federal ID badges out on the outside, just so they know, just so you know.
Oh, so you might tell them, it may be a TV show, but I got connections.
I know people.
I know people.
I know people.
And I love it because your daughter, Elisa, she's working on her psychology degree.
That's
okay,
right.
Now, this is a good thing. I would be scared to have my son working on a psychology degree. Does she psychoanalyze you?
Well, when you have your father's an actor, I said she's probably going to graduate like at the top of her class because
Okay.
she's got me, I'm a case study. So no, and it's great because she's kind of blazing her own trail. She wants nothing to do with show business, but she loves people and what makes them tick. And I said, that's kind of what I do as well. I said we as actors we analyze, we talk about people, what makes them tick, what their motivations are, what makes them do what they do. So
Yes.
we're kind of in the same circle. You just do it professionally. You just do it under a different title.
Okay,
Yeah.
I love this. I love you and Elisa's relationship.
She's a good kid.
She is good, because my son, he didn't want anything to do with this career either, because I'm doing it. So
Exactly.
maybe I can have him talk to Elisa. Maybe that might be a good.
But you're right. They do love it when they need money.
They're right there.
Right there.
Bet you she know all your lines from NCIS.
Absolutely.
Rocky, I want to say thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate you. Oh my God, one of the kindest men in the business. And y'all, NCIS airs Mondays on CBS. And up next, tips to maximize your skincare routine. Okay, I can't talk. Routine. Keep it right here. Rocky Carroll.